This module will give examples of ways to evaluate your sources to see if they can be cited within your academic work. When compiling information for academic work, it is important to assess and evaluate your sources. In order to fulfill academic requirements, your work must have accurate information backed up by research from verified and trustworthy sources. You cannot simply rely on Google searches, as research on the internet may be superficial or incorrect. Before using and citing a source in your academic work, you must evaluate if the source and where it came from can be verified. There are quite a few ways to start to evaluate your sources. The first way is by looking at the author's credentials. Whether your source is a book, magazine, journal article, or website, ensure that your author is someone who knows what they are talking about. For academic works, you want your sources to be by experts in the field. Along with the author, look at the publication's credentials. Is this publishing company, magazine, or website one that is seen as credible? Is their work well researched and properly referenced? Another way to tell if your source is credible is to see if it has been peer-reviewed. Peer-reviewed means that the source material has been critiqued and approved by experts within the material's field. For example, articles on medicine that have been peer-reviewed were read and verified by professionals in the medical field before being published. Most articles that have been published in scholarly journals are peer-reviewed and make excellent resources. When you are searching through databases online, there is also usually an option to retrieve only peer-reviewed results. Let's look at an example of a credible source. When you're searching for information on the internet, a good indicator of if a website is credible or not is by checking the end of the web's address. In most cases, websites ending in .gov and .edu are reliable and can be used in your references. A student working on a project wanting to learn about future population estimates would want to check with the Census Bureau of the U.S. government, a verified website with accurate information. By hovering over surveys, you can see the link to population projections. If the student wanted to find a table, they would click Tables. The student is now able to download any of the tables listed on this page. Because the census site is .gov, the numbers have been compiled and verified by a trusted source. Wikipedia can be a great starting point, but it is not a source that can be cited in academic work. Wikipedia is open to the public to edit, meaning that the information covered on the pages may not necessarily be correct. Though it shouldn't appear on your own bibliography, Wikipedia can still be a helpful place to begin your search. You can use all the way at the bottom any of the Wikipedia's references, bibliography, and further reading to expand your own searching. Here you may find credible sources that you are able to cite. Double-checking facts by finding corresponding information from other credible sources is an excellent way to evaluate if the data you are using is reliable. Using credible sources that you have evaluated ensures that your work will fulfill academic requirements. Next, we will look at 3 ways to use verified information. We will look at evidence-based design, which is using research when you're making your design decisions. We will look at the difference between primary and secondary sources. We will look at how to find and utilize proper statistics. Making design decisions based on scientific research is called evidence-based design, and increasingly, interior designers are using this concept to approach many different types of projects. Initially, the concept was geared towards the healthcare design. A classic example of evidence-based design is that a scientific study was done examining the effect of the interior environment on hospital patients' recovery. This showed that patients in rooms exposed to more natural sunlight recovered faster and requested less pain medication than those in dimmer rooms. Designers who read the study and incorporated natural light into their design of hospital rooms were practicing evidence-based design. Although evidence-based design has been widely studied and applied in the healthcare environment and interiors, there have been growing applications in other building types and environments, such as learning environments, residential, retail, office, and hotel spaces. The library has created an entire guide on evidence-based design. This can be accessed from the library's main webpage under the title Evidence-Based Design/Research-Inspired Design. Another factor to take into consideration when evaluating sources is whether a source is a primary or a secondary source. A primary source, as defined by the Library of Congress, is a raw material of history, something created at the time your research focuses on. The Library of Congress defines a secondary source as an account or interpretation of events created by someone without first-hand experience. Here are examples of both a primary and a secondary source. This drawing by Mies van der Rohe of his Tugendhat house is a primary source because it was created at the time of the house's creation. Credo's page about Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water House is a secondary source because it compiles contemporary photos and explanatory paragraph about the home written well after its construction. Finally, let's go over statistics. In both your research and studio work, you may need to use statistical information to provide the foundation for arguments or design decisions. Statistics are helpful for learning about the people for whom you are designing. For example, if you are designing a housing project, demographic statistics will tell you more about the people who will be living within the housing project, such as the age range, potential health challenges, as well as median income. Statistics about neighborhoods, cities, and states can give you insights into the types of services and establishments that are already available, such as schools, transportation, or hospitals. Statistics can be found all over the internet, so you must take care to evaluate and verify the information. Generally speaking, government agencies at various levels are required to gather and publish statistical information. A few good sources for finding statistics at these government agencies are American FactFinder, the U.S. Census Bureau, and City Data. Source evaluation is an important part of academic research. With such a diverse range in kind and quality of information at our fingertips today, it is imperative that you are evaluating where you are getting your data from. Please feel free to visit us in the library for assistance in finding or verifying your sources.